All right. So you spoke about, when it comes to doing your job in a world where people think they know your job, there's the professional side of it, but then there's the mental health side of it. And I think particularly for the year and a half that it has been, people are much more aware of the mental side of things. And even like you touched on something earlier, how what other people think matters. And to a certain point, it shouldn't, but it does. And I think at some level, everyone cares what someone else thinks. So when you're doing your job, and your job is to put your opinions and thoughts out, and then you're getting those reactions, how do you deal with that mental health side of things when you're getting some negative responses or things like that?
It's a really good question. I'm really lucky in the times that I have had really negative responses to something. I can kind of count my fingers. Like I've not had horrific waves of abuse that I know that some people do get. But it's really tough. I think it's really tough as well when you already, I have anxiety like a lot of people, and, it definitely does trigger it to put something out online. It is always vulnerable to publish something.
Yeah. Can I just echo that and say, because I've started doing videos, and we're not getting a large amount of views at the moment, but I remember putting things out, and then you get a notification on YouTube that someone's notified, and I just feel inside, whoa, did someone hate what I did? I don't know why my mind would instantly go to that. It wasn't. It was just someone giving kind of feedback, but my mind is, whoa, is this it? Did someone hate what I did so much that they're leaving that comment on the page? And I feel, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but kind of not yet quite trained to maybe think like that a little bit now.
Yeah, completely. And it's something I was even talking about this over the weekend. It was Cheltenham Science Festival, and I did a panel with Shay Thompson and Shella Ramanan and Corey, who's this writer at Silver Rain. And it was this wonderful panel about the power of gaming, and it was so much fun, really rich discussion about games and justice, and there was a game being made about the Windrush generation that Shella and Corey were working on, and it was all really, really cool, rich discussions. And afterwards we came off stage, and we were talking, and we were all like, oh, did we pitch that right? Because it was a mix of gamers and non-gamers in the audience, and we were all kind of oh, did it work? And then a couple of people came up to us and oh, we're non-gamers, but we love that. Now we really, really want to play video games. And I know they were so excited and passionate, and it was really, really lovely. But we were reflecting on it afterwards, and we were like, oh, it's such a shame that we didn't know that we'd done a good job until people told us that we did a good job.
Yes, yeah.
And I find that across, I don't know, you might find this in your work as well, but...
Yeah, a bit too closely, actually. Yeah.
And isn't it bad? It's definitely something that I want to work on more, of sitting more securely in my work, of going no, I'm really happy that I did a good job. Because also the reality is that, and as you said, especially in gaming, people are really opinionated, and they do think they know a lot, and it is really rare to please absolutely everyone. So if you can sit and go, no, I know I wrote a good piece, or if it did have this limitation, it was because of X, there was a good reason for it. That criticism will wash over you more, rather than digging and sitting under your heart. And
yeah, that's a really good point. And I think it's that balance between being open to criticism and learning, and not automatically thinking you're the best, but still being confident in the work that you're doing. It's a fine balance. Yeah, I totally feel I've had that sort of fairly recently, where I'm just doing something and sort of getting really good feedback, and the person asking I think I'm paraphrasing, but I had to do a drop for a radio show about GamePad. So I put something together, I did an edit and everything, sent it across, and I wasn't sure. I don't know if this is good or not. Feedback came back really positive, and he asked me when you did this, did you know it was that good? I was genuinely no. I could have imagined you saying this is terrible, do it again. just as well as I could have imagined you saying, like, this is good. And that's not a good thing.
It's so annoying, isn't it? It's how our brains work. It's like, God, help a brother out.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like, so, if someone's watching and they can help with that, you've got contact details, like, get in touch.
But do you know what? I think it's a byproduct of a lot of our industry being self-taught, like, if we were taught more how to do certain things, or there was feedback kind of built into our jobs, I just think we'd have be encouraged more to self-reflect and have the tools to know whether we are good at what we're doing. As it is, we don't have that feedback, and a lot of the time we are sort of teaching ourselves as we go, and the only feedback we get is from an audience, and so we become really reliant upon it and dependent, or a client, because like in that case, like that radio drop, that sounds it was a client, so like
it was actually a mentor of mine, so I shouldn't have been necessarily expected any kind of negative. So I mean, he would have told me if it wasn't, because he's definitely told me, like, if it didn't need work. But so he would have told me. But it was a friendly kind of interaction. But still, I was like, I have no idea.
We're just primed for sort of the fear of it. So like, I wish that I had, some really sage advice of how you deal with the mental health of dealing with online opinions. But I mean, aside from what I was saying before about trust the analytics, I think that's the best bit of advice I can give. And then on the mental health side of things, it's kind of just learning to trust your own voice, and that is something that I'm still learning to do at the moment. So, whatever path that looks like for you, trying to follow it and sit more securely in yourself.
Yeah, no, I think that's good advice and a good thing to raise for people watching. Whether it's media or something else, that's good advice to keep in mind. Hey there, I'm Nigel from mayamada. Thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the other great videos we have on the channel. You can also join the GamePad Discord and check out the next event at gamepad.events. We'll see you soon.